We had an incident over spring break with Kenneth George. He's been suspended indefinitely from the team until we gather more information and let it run its course. We don't tolerate behavior like that, and we're going to support all law enforcement that we come in contact with. We want our kids to do the right thing. We want them to respect the law, but at the same time, we're going to support Kenneth through this, and we'll see where it goes. Practice today, we had a little more spirited practice. You could tell we had guys that had been off for a good bit. Lots of good things. Still a long ways to go when it comes to execution. Learning to play with the right pad level, learning how to finish every single play, every rep. Too many penalties, too many turnovers. Offensively, up until this point, operation had been really good. Today's probably the first day that, we probably were a little bit behind schedule, and the offense sets the tempo of practice. I've got to do a much better job doing that. I think over the last couple of weeks, our kickers have continued to improve our operation. That's a positive side. Still trying to figure out who all is going to be our punt returners, our kick returners. We've got Marquez Callaway that done the punts last year, and Ty and a couple other guys that done kickoffs. But we got competition back there. We've got to make that or create a weapon in our special teams when our return game. So we're working hard to do that. When you come back from spring break, with a week off, I didn't think there was enough carryover from the previous week. So we got to go back and get started and get back into the grind. The spirit and energy was there early on, but we didn't finish the way we need to finish. With that, we'll take any questions.
With some of those issues you talked about with being a little sloppy maybe offensively, do you expect part of that after a week off? Is that just natural, or was it still not acceptable?
Well, we wasn't like that the first week of practice. So the first day we went out there, we're probably a little more crisper than we were today. Still got a few quarterback center exchanges when we're in the gun. Bad snaps. The first thing you got to do offensive football is take the ball from the center and give it to the quarterback. And you got to do it in a way that the quarterback doesn't have to make circus catches to catch the snap. So got to improve there. But I thought not putting in as much stuff this week, we've kind of got the bulk of our install in 5 days. And, it's kind of the second time around, so you would think it would be a little crisper and cleaner.
You've talked about how it was critical to have coordinators with SEC experience. I was just wondering, why is that so important? Not just to have Power 5 experience, but to have experience within this conference.
Well, you look at the coaches in this league. All across the league, you got very good coaches on both sides of the ball, special teams. You get a lot of different looks, so guys that have had experience in this league understand the top players that you're going to play against, the things that you're going to see. The more times you play against somebody, obviously the more familiar you get with them. So I think having a guys with experience is important.
Coach, you say Kenneth George is suspended from the team, but you'll still support him. In what ways can the team support him while he's suspended?
Well, you got academic support. There's lots of ways from an educational standpoint. So, and we'll do that.
Trey Smith doing some contact drills, it looked like today. Just what did it mean to have him doing some of that drill work, and how did he look out there today?
Well, Trey's not doing any contact drills. He might hit a dummy here or there, but he's not doing any contact.
Was today an advancement? It seemed like he was going through a little bit more than we saw before spring break.
You know more about it than I do then.
Coach, can you talk about Josh Palmer? I know a year ago you kind of referenced that he had not played a lot of football. Where's he improved his game? And then, two, same thing with Jerome Carvin. Where have you kind of seen him take steps from last year as a freshman to now?
Well, I think Josh is a guy that he has a good frame on him. He has good hands, has speed. So he has the physical attributes that you look for in a wide receiver. I think the more you play, obviously the better you get, the more reps you take and all that. So this is his third year here, so he's been through spring before. I think he has showed some progress. I think he's done much better this spring blocking on the physical side. So he's a guy that's a big, strong guy that runs fast. We need to be able to play him on special teams. He needs to be able to do that to give us a guy out there that can run and hit and give us just another body. So that's one thing that he's improved on, or a couple of things. Jerome has played lots of positions. This is his second spring. He went through last spring a little bit with a broke foot, and so it was a little bit limited at times, but he's played a bunch of positions up front. He worked at all center today. So just trying to create some depth at that position, and Jerome's a guy that can play multiple spots. So I think the more he plays, he'll improve.
When do you guys expect to get clarity on Aubrey and DAngelo's status?
When we file a waiver.
Oh, have you filed one yet, or do you know when that process could be?
Well, when you file a waiver, there's a process that it goes through, and it's ruled on by the NCAA.
How does that affect during practice, like divvying out reps when they're in that sort of limbo?
It don't. Everybody here gets the same amount of reps, so it doesn't matter.
Jeremy, you've got a couple of young quarterbacks in JT and Brian. Kind of how are they progressing, and kind of how are they handling all the stuff that's being thrown at them with the offense and all those things?
Well, both guys have good arms. They have pretty good athletic ability. They've got to speed up. They've got to take care of the football. Arm talent's not an issue, but if you're throwing the ball late, it's not a good thing. You got to know where to start in your progressions. You got to handle the offense. You got to get them in and out of the huddle. You got to be a good communicator. You got to be demanding. And they both need to improve on that, and they will. Again, they're like a lot of guys on our team. They just need to play ball, can get lots of reps, and they'll improve as long as they get an opportunity to do that.
Other questions?
Jeremy, is the team going to be able to kind of get together and watch that basketball game later this week? And what's it been like for you kind of watching that team and the kind of season it's had?
Well, every time that our basketball team's on TV, it's a family gathering for us. So I got my 3- and 1-year-old in there, and they got their little basketball goal in there. So every time that Jordan or Admiral or Grant, somebody shoots one, they start shooting one too. So it's exciting times to watch our guys play, the way they play. All these guys have been great ambassadors for the University of Tennessee. Coach Barnes is doing a fantastic job. We'll definitely be watching.
Jeremy, you kind of hinted that maybe there was some retention issues at some various spots today. Where did that kind of show up the most, in your opinion, on the first practice back from spring break?
Well, I think all over. It's just we made mistakes today that we didn't make the first day. So today was really a review day. We went 5 days. Now we start over. So you go back to what you put in on day one, and you add a few things to it, but really our installs today were really small. So you would think this is the week that you start, kind of creating your identity, playing the right way. Probably guys having a little more knowledge of what they're supposed to do, so they can play faster. And it was there at times, but it was too sloppy at times too.
Final question. Eric, did you have one?
I don't know, what does spring break look like for the coaching staff? Are you guys taking some time off and getting away, or are you sort of here? What does that look like for you guys?
Well, I mean, the players aren't here, so we can't work with the players. I mean, you get an opportunity to do whatever you want to do. You can work on football, you can work on opponents, you can spend time with your family, you can play golf, you can fish, you can hunt. I mean, what everybody else does on their free time.